Hello and welcome to the lore table. I'm your host, Teen Wolf, and today we are going to be returning to Wraith and talking about the lore for Ira the Crimson Haze. But before we get into that, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It's completely free, you won't regret it. And for all that aside, let's talk about Ira and her story, starting off in her home village by Karu. Here, Ira is just a happy child who has a great childhood and a great family in a great and peaceful village in the mountains of Mysteria, hidden in a little valley. Here, Ira enjoys her childhood, causing mischief, having fun with her brothers Jane and Jailing, and her parents, despite the fact that Ira kind of hates her tutors and always gets into trouble, love her. Ira is known for always trying to take a sneak peek into her family shrine, which is named after the tree that it's under. And Ira always goes to the shrine as often as she can to try to pick up her family sword with blossoms engraved into the sides of the sword. But every time she tries to wield it, to pick it up and hold it, its beauty entrancing her, something interrupts her. One of her siblings, her father, coming and telling her, "Hey, do not come here. You can't do that. You cannot hold the sword, and you cannot come here unless it's for an emergency. You know this." But despite this, she would always come back, and she would always try to wield her family sword and always get interrupted. Until, one day after her 14th birthday, her and her siblings, and probably a couple of others, were returning from a training session outside of their village in the valley of Mysteria. And they're coming back, and they see hordes of these creatures destroying their home. They rush down to their village, trying to find their family, and they stumble upon one of the creatures wearing a bony mask, where below it they can kind of see some bones and ink and stuff like moving below, and teeth, and it's gross and it's scary. They can clearly tell that this is not a natural foe. It is something not of this world. But despite this, they're face to face with one of the giant creatures destroying their home. But before the monster can strike, their father gets in between them and tells them to run to the shrine as quickly as they can and seal themselves in their shrine. So, that's exactly what they do. They don't know what's going to happen to their father. They don't know where their mother is, but they run as fast as they possibly can to the shrine. And once they're locked in, Ira finally gets her chance. She moves towards the blade with the blossoms engraved on its side. She picks it up, finally holding the sword that has been entrancing her and begging her to hold it for so long. But it did not go well for her. The shrine started to shake. A door behind them started to open, revealing a cavern that hasn't been touched for years, leading to a series of passageways that led who knows where into the mountains of Mysteria. And this created a lot of noise, and a bunch of the monsters started rushing towards them, one breaking through the walls and, well, blocking their only entrance, or their only exit into the caverns. So, Jailing, in an attempt to distract the monster, pulls out his blade, tells his siblings to run as fast as they possibly can, and he gets cut in half. So that's nice. And then Jane and Ira rush into the caverns, the creature running behind them, its mask falling off, revealing a bunch of teeth and misshapen horrors as they rush through the caverns as fast as they possibly can as the creature roars behind them. Eventually, they get out, and it appears that they're some of the only survivors of their family village. They search for others, and they fail, but eventually they come across other clans that have met similar fates, and it appears that all of the highest clans in Mysteria have been wiped out in a single night by these weird creatures never seen before, at least that haven't been seen in a very, very long time. This night would be called the Night of the Dark Tide, and Ira and about 40 others organized a giant clan to try to rebuild and seek vengeance upon these creatures, naming themselves the Crimson Haze Rebels, being led by Ira and their brother Jing. And after a long time of seeking vengeance and trying to find these creatures, Jing noticed that Ira was changing. The blade that she had taken from her family shrine was changing her, and as she grew up, was becoming somebody that Jing didn't recognize. And one morning, he left a note. "Dear sister, over the last 7 years, I have watched you grow, founding the Crimson Haze Rebels and searching for truth behind the destruction of our home. I know that the events of the dark days still weigh on you, and I know that you think that finding those responsible will help you move on. However, this quest for justice has changed you, Ira. It has morphed you into a dark desire for vengeance, and I worry that there is nothing left of the sister that I grew up with. As the last of our family, it is our duty to return to the valley and rebuild the village, to help our clan move forward. Yet, you continue to ignore your responsibilities, choosing to journey further and further away from our home in search of retribution. I cannot watch you dishonor our family any longer. I have left to find a way to restore our family's name and rebuild the House of Blossoms. I can hope only for that one day you might finally come to your senses and join me there. Jane." He has left Ira, and in a rage, she crumples up the note as someone calls to her, and she leaves her tent, leaving her brother behind, and fully embracing the edge of autumn. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope that you enjoyed the lore of Ira the Crimson Haze. It's a bit of a dark story, and it's a sad one. She basically lost everything, and now she is in search of vengeance. She has turned to the dark side of the Force, of the ninjas, of the something. Anyways, hope that you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It's completely free. You won't regret it. And hope I see you again soon on the lore table, where next time we'll be talking more about the world of Wraith.